So what I'm going to play with today is my Predator 8750. Hasn't been run in a while, so I need to make sure it's good before a disaster happens. So I'll put some stable in the tank. This one also has a tri-fuel conversion kit, so it can run propane or natural gas or regular old gasoline. I'm going to be taking measurements with this kilowatt meter, and I'll show you how, when it gets a load, how the hertz drops. Even though the voltage is okay, it's something you might need to make an adjustment to. There's a governor screw right back in there. That would adjust it on the gas side. And then on the propane, there's this flow control right here. This tank has about 5 gallons in it. Looks like 1 ounce per 2.5 gallons. It needs 2 ounces in here. Hey, this air compressor is what I'm going to be plugging into the generator as a load. I think it's about 1600 watts. So it's not too terribly big, but it's enough for it to run and not be sitting there doing nothing. Running the generator without a load, I've heard, is not a good thing, so I try not to do it. Even if all I've got plugged into is a fan or something. Mostly I just do these test runs every few months to make sure it still works. The first time I'm going to start this up, I'm going to use gasoline because it's very difficult to cold start this with the propane. All that surging was because I shut the fuel off and I wanted to let the carburetor run dry, because that's the best way to store it. If you leave fuel inside the carburetor, it can cause problems in there. Then you'll have to take it apart, rebuild it, or replace it. And that could come at a time when you really need it to run. Now on the propane side, I've got this valve here. This is a carburetor drain. So you can open that, let the gas out, and then shut it back. And then when you go to start it, the only fuel in the system will be propane. Turn that on. Now this little primer valve, you're supposed to hold this to allow fuel to pass through when you pull start it. It's a whole lot easier when you have a battery to do the starting for you. And then once you get this thing to run, it'll internally open up and allow fuel to pass through. Well, I've tested on both fuels that I have. I've put stabilizer in the tank. It's full of fuel. I have 3 tanks of propane in case I need it. And it runs about a gallon per hour of gasoline. Not too terrible when you're in a position that you need it. As for propane, I've never run a tank long enough to know how long one of those will last. I bought this Predator at Harbor Freight in 2015, so I've had it for 7 years. Now, I've never had a minute's trouble with it. I hope I never do, but I've had it long enough that I can't be upset if something does go wrong with it. It's been great. The propane conversion kit I got on Amazon. I'll try to find a link to it. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, everyone.